All right, what's up, everybody? Ooh, that mic's a little hot, ain't it? Let's drop that down a little bit. I had just set up OBS here on my uh, one of the work computers here, and yeah, let's see. Let's do some noise suppression here, um, and then probably a noise gate. What do you guys think? Probably a noise gate. I'm thinking. Let's see how this works. Close threshold, open threshold. Is that a lot better? How's the audio going? So, yeah, I am in the print farm right now. This computer just has I don't know, it's a decent 1080p 60 camera, so we can still get that PC Master Race streaming quality. We should be going good on the stream. We got a pretty solid connection going out here. We are streaming out. Man, OBS really cranked up my bit rate here. We're streaming out at 10,000 megabits per second, which seems like or not megabits, kilobits. I usually do 6,000. Let's see. Can I change this on the fly? Or am I going to break the stream? Because we do not need to be sending out that much data. So, yeah, the mic is worse. I am probably going to bring my Blue Yeti out here. I need to find the stand for it because it was on an arm. I am using, it should be this mic here. The options for microphones are this one or the one built into the camera here. So this is the one built into the camera. Which one's better? This is the camera mic. Can you guys hear me? Talking. This is the one built into the camera. And now I'm going to change over to the headset again. We are back on the headset. Which one do we like? Headset mic? Okay. I'll get a nicer microphone for out here. I have a Yeti. Does anybody can anybody find a Yeti printable mount? Because I don't even know if I have the mount anymore. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do for the giveaway stream just because it's literally the 1st of December. For the giveaway itself, what we're going to do is I'm just going to reopen the November entry, and then we are going to pull the winner for the $150 gift card that we give away every month at the end of this stream just to get it out of the way. How's that work? So, but yeah, this is, I'm in the print farm here. I'm at one of the workstations. This is the one I use. Danielle's PC that she uses for office work is there. She usually operates off a laptop. Sean's is over here. There's plenty of printable items over here, including his Dickosaurus that is in shot. So, YOLO. It's, doot, doot, doot. But someone just said, "Am I seeing things, or is that a blue penis at the display stand on the left of the screen?" Yes, that might be because whatever. So let's get into it. I do have some updates for the company stuff. I started on the Ender 6 enclosure, photos and documentation today. I will be pushing ahead with those tomorrow, and then getting it all pretty and put up on the website. And then I'm getting Joe started on making those. So I'm hoping we should have them in about a week or two. I need to get the what's the word? I need to get the documentation done because I don't like putting products out there without proper documentation. We're not Big Tree Tech, so. But yeah, easy boards. We should be getting about 200 easy boards shipped to us on the 3rd, so in 2 days. I do want to give a shout out to my dad because his birthday's coming up on the 8th, so happy early birthday, father. Him and my mom sometimes watch these, so I figured I'd give him a shout out. But yeah, so I don't think I have any other company news unless one of my guys wants to ping me. Everything's moving pretty smoothly here. You can see Sean is attending to the printer farm here. So if you guys got ABS parts, Sean very likely touched them inappropriately at some point. So, but yeah, these are actually, someone's asking about the enclosures. The enclosures are from Printed Solid. These are their Ender 3 enclosures. Now, I know they do have a new version of their enclosures out. So if you guys go on their site, I think they call it their next gen ones. But we've been very happy with these. All these 12 Ender 3s. Some are Ender 3, some are Ender 3 Pros. But yeah, this is what we do for our ABS stuff. I just realized this camera is just hunting for what's the word I'm looking for? It's hunting for the focus. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put this focus locked. Does that work? Can I actually change the focus on here? Oh, there it is. Okay, we're just going to lock it. So yeah, I don't think I have anything too crazy. If you guys want to see, if you guys want to peek here, I'll just pop this up. You guys can take a peek. So this is the rest of the print farm here. Oh. You can see we got our filament there. There's all the PLA and PETG machines. I got a little mini split up here for keeping this room cool. That's a 2-ton unit. This is about a 600 square foot room. And I overspec'd the power or the cooling capacity just because there's so many printers in here. So, yeah, so that's our print farm. All our parts are made right here. I do some in my office occasionally. I'm just out here because someone suggested doing a stream from the print farm, and I thought that was a good idea. So work. Not as good of a mic as the other ones in my office, but I want to change it up. So nothing wrong with my office. Remo is out here. I don't know where he's at. There it is. Come here. Come here, buddy. There's my buddy. So anyways, let's get into the stream. And let's see, why are we here instead of the garage? Because I felt like it. Trying to change things up. All right, let's see here. I do want to say, how many of you nerds have heard of a Vectrex? So they just picked up one of those. I heard there's a pretty big community around those still. Let me know. Let me know if you got one or you're aware of those. But let's see. You guys need to answer or ask me some questions so I can answer them. And that's what we're here for. Top Hat Waffle, new location, works mic. Well, I would hope so. This is a $30 Logitech headset. The mic I have is a $500 Octava. So I would hope this sounds worse than that. Where am I? I'm in the print farm. Getting rid of the garage office. No, I'm not getting rid of the garage office. In fact, I'm going to be building a second office for myself for a personal in a couple of weeks here. So that'll be exciting. Let's see. What enclosures are in your print farm? Answered that, but I'll say it again. Printed solid, so check them out. You guys have not asked any questions in this entire time. We have been streaming for 10 minutes now, and there's 0 questions in the chat. You guys need to answer questions. Come on. Or ask questions so I can answer them. Remo, get out of the garbage. He's like snooting. So anyways, let's see. What questions do we have? Did I miss them? What enclosures? Hang on. Unless YouTube is not showing me everything, which is entirely possible. Will chat jump? I'm hoping this computer's doing pretty good. This is a 4th Gen i5. With a 1070 in it, and it's doing pretty good for streaming. Let's see. If you guys have questions, post them in the chat, and I will answer them. I do have Discord open as well for the live stream. Let's see. Where's the live stream? There it is. So if you guys want to post questions or links, let's see. Who do I go through for my plexiglass? You just go to Menards. Nothing special. Gabe Rink says, hey Tim, I've got Ender 3 with a BL Touch Rating Clipper. Whenever I print, I can see the Z motor moving, but the leveling squares are still not level. I ran an M48 and got 0.002. So M48 0.002 is really good. You want to be under 0.05. Me personally, I like to see under 0.01, and that's usually millimeters. But yeah, the most common thing that I will say is that typically, and this is with any ABL probe, whether it's the BL Touch or it's an easy ABL, if your gantry is not level with the printer's frame, not with your bed, but the frame, so meaning, you got your 2 uprights, okay, and the whole gantry rides up and down said uprights, what'll happen is it'll skew the result because the probe is expecting to be compensating for the bed itself, and not for the gantry. So when the gantry is not equidistant from the bottom of the gantry to the frame, then it will skew the result and you'll get this weird result. So there actually is an article in our help center. Dear, damn it, John. Thanks. I appreciate it. I just got tipped $50. We going to a strip club later? But yeah, let me pull up that article here, and I will. This may be it. This may not be it, but it usually is something weird, and not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows that you need to make sure the gantry is level with the printer's frame and not the bed. So especially if you're dealing with an ABL sensor. If you're not dealing with an ABL sensor, it really doesn't matter because you're going to level the bed out to the nozzle. But when you start getting into auto bed leveling sensors, you got to make sure the mechanicals on your printer are very well tuned. What a lot of people find is that when they put an auto bed leveling sensor on there, they kind of expose other issues with the printer that they weren't aware of because it was kind of getting covered up by doing manual leveling. When you throw an auto bed leveling sensor on the printer, it's assumed that the only thing that's not out of that's the only thing that's out of spec is your bed because it's a bed leveling sensor. It's not a gantry leveling sensor. It's not going to compensate for if your X carriage is loose or any other issues that could result in an uneven first layer. So what we find a lot is that as people buy just our easy ABL kits, a lot of our support time is actually spent on guiding people towards fixing their machines and exposing issues that they were just kind of dealing with and they weren't entirely aware of the entire time. So that's something you want to make sure that you're aware of, is that mechanically your printer is very sound, because your bed leveling sensor, whether it's an easy ABL or a BL Touch or whatever, it's a bed leveling sensor. That's all it's going to compensate for. So Jonathan Bear, how old is Remo now? Remo is 11 months old now. He will be 1 year old on December 29th. So, which is a stream day. Oh my God, should we get him a doggy cake? I feel like we should get him a doggy cake. A doggy ice cream, get him like a pup cup. He loves pup cups. So he's literally going to be, so in 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, he will be 1 year old. I definitely think, because there's a stream, I definitely think we should get him a cake. What do you guys think? Let's see. People asked about the new Creality printers. I did see that there was a Creality stream. I did not catch it. I was planning on watching it tonight while I'm doing laundry. So I have to, if someone wants to give me a rundown, I have not seen it. I am aware that there was something because my group was chatting. I'm going to try not to get a little emotional about this, but I don't know if you guys heard, but Sanjay from E3D passed away on Sunday, I believe it was. Or sorry, Saturday. They did post on their Facebook. They don't say why, but he was one of the founders and owners of E3D. And, if you guys are aware, like, they make really good products. They pushed a lot of stuff forward in the market. They've done a lot of open source work. I have a lot of respect for them, and it's really sad to see that he's gone. It's really kind of wild because he's literally the same age I am. Yeah. So my thoughts and prayers goes out to his family and the company too. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. So, anyways, I just want to mention that. Let's see. Yup, 84. What can I gain/lose in getting an easy board for an Ender 6? I mean, right now you could. So here's the thing: the easy board could be put in Ender 6. It's a little more involved. I don't have any documentation on that. I'm probably going to put one in mine because I've been having issues with the Extruder driver on my stock board, and I don't feel like dealing with Creality support. So I'm going to document that changeover. But to be completely honest, if you're just an average user and you're not doing a ton of fancy stuff and a ton of different things, you're not going to see a huge improvement over the stock board unless your stock board is one that has issues. And from what I understand, the stock boards do tend to have problems. I'm having issues with mine. But don't swap it out and expect it to be like, oh my God, my print quality is insane. The main benefit of the Easy Board, it's going to last longer. It's going to be a little more reliable, and you're also going to have a lot more control over the board at the firmware level too. Like, all the drivers are controlled directly from the firmware itself. Whereas Creality stock board is running the Trinamic drivers in what's called standalone mode, so you can't change your VREF from the G-code commands or from the screen. You have to get in there with a multimeter and a screwdriver and physically adjust something to change that. So doing fine tuning to mitigate if you have motors that are running too hot, or if you're getting step loss because the current's too low, it's a lot more involved versus with like our board and other boards that allow digital control of the drivers. It's just a setting change, and then you can instantly tune that and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a miracle thing. It's basically going to be a replacement board for that. But we don't actually market the Easy board for the Ender 6 yet because of how the Ender 6 is. So the Easy board will bolt up into an Ender 6. The thing to know is that 1, you'll need the LCD conversion. 2, you're going to have to use the DIY firmware for that because the Ender 6 is not officially supported in there yet. I'm going to put it in there because I'm going to put it in my machine. I like to test stuff on the machine before I go, hey, it's supported. But the other thing is you're not going to have access to the SD slot because the stock board has an extension cable type SD slot. So the SD slot is on a PCB and it's got a cable that goes from that PCB to the main board. So there's no way to extend that really unless you make your own SD extension cable. So, if you're not flashing the firmware all the time, not that big of a deal. You could always leave the bottom off the printer and just tilt it up if you need to get access to the SD slot. If you're printing over USB, whether it's your computer or through Octoprint, you might not care that you're not going to have access to the SD slot if you put an Easy board in your Ender 6 because of how they have the board mounted. Yeah. Derek Cirillo, one of our members here. How can I test whether a PSU offers a clean supply? I have a Chinesium power supply. I'm not sure it's good. So the easiest way to test to make sure that it's doing its base job of outputting power is to put some sort of load on it that's within its spec, and then measure the voltage and see if it's sagging when you put the load on it, or if it's jumping all over the place. So like some power supplies, if you plug them in and put the multimeter on there, you might get a reading. Let's say it's a 12-volt power supply, like maybe it'll be like 12.2 volts. It'll be a little high. Well, then you put a load on it that's 80% of its rated load capacity, and then let's say it sags down to like 11.8. That's a pretty big voltage drop. More quality power supplies like Meanwell and stuff, they'll have a little bit of sag, like maybe 0.1 volts if that. But the other thing too is if you leave the multimeter on there, especially with a load, and you see the voltage going up and down, and it's has a lot of what they call ripples, so it's like it's going up and then down and up and then down, and you see the meter reading up and down, that would tell me that's not a very good power supply. Now the thing is, most multimeters are not going to be fast enough of an update rate to detect that, so the ideal thing to do would be hook it up to something like an oscilloscope and see how the waveform looks in terms of the power output, and look at it at different time segments, because what you'll see is it's never going to be a perfectly smooth output. Like some power supplies can get pretty damn close, but what you'll see is little overshoots and undershoots, and that's what's called ripples. So you got the peak to peak. So let's say you got a 5-volt power supply and it's outputting between like 5.05 and 4.98. So you would measure that total value from the top peak to the bottom peak, and that's what the ripple is on there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be just talking out of my ass here, but basically ripple is how smooth the power is coming out of the power supply, and typically no-name power supplies are not going to have as smooth an output, which means it has more ripple, which means could potentially just be a dirtier output, and depending on what you're powering, it may cause issues. Certain things, if you're just powering like an incandescent light bulb, it's really not going to care if there's ripple on the line. You might see a little bit of flickering, but it's going to work, but if you have more stuff that's sensitive electronics, the ripple could cause issues. That's one of the reasons, like if you guys look at our Easy ABL on the actual board, we've got a diode on there for reverse voltage protection, but we also have, after that diode, a bunch of 3 stages of filtering and capacitors, and there's an electrolytic on there for smoothing, and what that does is, because the diode's on there and it doesn't allow the printer to drain what reserves of power in those capacitors, it decouples our circuit from the rest of the printer, so it still sips power, but it delivers a very smooth, stable output to our sensor, because we found that if you're putting the sensor directly wired to some of these cheaper power supplies that have high ripple and have a lot of noise, or you have your bed cycling on and off, your hot end cycling on and off, stuff that's causing the voltage to move, we found that the accuracy decreased based on how much voltage irregularities there were. So that's why we have the board set up like that, is to smooth that out so our sensor isn't subject to these wild changes and then the accuracy gets screwed. So, you know, that should be it. I'm looking at the questions right now. So John Reefer said, you installed the new Easy Board. The thing rocks. I'm now adding Mosquito hot end with the Bondtech DDX extruder. Oh, I thought you had a question, but I appreciate it. We have had. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. So like, obviously, you launch a new product launch, you try to cover all your bases, and you just assume that there's going to be issues so at some point. Knock on wood, we haven't had any issues with the new Easy Boards. Software-wise, hardware-wise, everything's been very smooth sailing, which, you know, even exceeded my expectations. I don't even think we have a single. I know Tor is in the chat, but correct me wrong, I don't think we've had a single board DOA out of this batch either. So I've been very happy with the launch of that. And we got more coming in. Let's see. Joseph says, or sorry, Kyle. I'll get Kyle here. He said he remade his E cable that fixed all the issues with the extruder going reverse from the extension cable. Yeah, sometimes extension cables do weird stuff. I'm not a big fan of extension cables, mainly because, what's what I'm looking for? Mainly because, you know, you have like your standard cable. It's got a plug that goes to the motherboard, a plug that goes to the stepper, okay? You add an extension cable, you now have one more plug that goes into the one that went to the stepper, and then you have another one on the stepper. So you now added 2 more points of failure to that cable. And if those ends and those connectors don't have a solid connection, you now have 2 more potential points of adding in voltage drop to the cable, which can then cause issues with how reliable that cable works. In terms of a motor, it could cause missteps, it could cause things overheating, it could cause drivers to shut down. In general, my opinion is that if you want to have longer cables for your printer, for the stepper motors, for the heaters, the thermistors, whatever, just cut them, solder them, heat shrink them, make them all nice. I'm not a big fan of extension cables. So you guys do whatever you want. I'm just speaking from my experience and seeing from the customer side of things and seeing from personal side of things. I don't like adding more points of failure via connectors. I would rather just cut and splice the wire or make an entirely new wire that is the length I need for whatever project I'm working on. So just keep that in mind if you guys are dealing with extension cables. I mean, the Ender 6 is a good example. That has like a little breakout board, which you could call an extension cable. So it's got like this breakout board that goes from the main board, that goes to the main board with one cable, and it's got a bunch of other headers on there. That's 2 more points of failure that I added, and I have had issues with it not making a proper connection, and my E-motor stopped turning. And at this point, I think I'm just going to run a whole new cable for my extruder and bypass that whole thing altogether. Like, those breakout boards look nice, but I can tell you I'm not a fan of them because they're not easy to repair. They add another point of failure versus just having all the wires going back to the main board in one continuous run. A good example of a really poorly implemented breakout board type scenario is like the Sidewinder X1. Ours is down because things broke on it. If anyone's in the area and wants a Sidewinder X1, let me know. I'm probably going to be selling it as is for parts very soon because it's just sitting here taking up space. So here being Hobart, Indiana. So if you are interested in a Sidewinder X1, I'd probably, like, I think right now, what is it, the end stop's busted? I know the ribbon cables work. I think one of the end stops are busted. But someone wants to get it, give me $50, it's yours. It's just been sitting here collecting dust. We're trying to get rid of extra machines that we don't use anymore. But just shoot me an email and with a contact form if you guys are in the area. I will not ship it, and it's as is. Let's see. And John, I appreciate the $50. I really do. Let's see. So Joseph says, I just upgraded my Ender 6 to community. I don't know what you mean. I just upgraded my Ender 6 to community. When I added the 12864 screen and SD isn't recognized. I'm assuming you say that SD isn't recognized, but still updates the firmware. Any ideas? I'm not sure what you mean by community. If you have our screen, you should just be using our firmware. I don't know if did someone come out with like a community firmware for the Ender 6? I know they came out with the CR6, which I still have a CR6. I got to dust that thing off. But yeah, go ahead and clarify. I'll circle back on that. Habit Waffle. I still gotta get some. I gotta get some more geared extruders. Are dual drives BMG actually work fit over single gear, aka Tough Extruder Titan? So here's the thing. I have both, and I found both work. Now, this is my opinion. The BMGs I think are really good extruders. I need to reach back out to them because I was thinking about adding them to the shop, like the official ones, not the Chinese clones. But I also have a lot of our Tough Extruders, which are based on the E3D Titan design. The thing with some of the BMGs is if you get the gears not meshing correctly, you can get like weird artifacting, which hasn't happened a ton, but I have had it happen on some machines. My thing is get whatever is in your price range. They're both good solutions. Everybody's going to have their preference, but you know, even me, I have my preferences, and I would take BMG or the ones we sell. I don't care, whatever the printer has on it. They're both really good quality extruders. So you know, that's my opinion. I'm sure there's people in the chat that'll be like, oh, BMGs are dual drive. But I can tell you right now, just from feedback from the community and from friends, the Chinese knockoffs of the Bontecs are not very good. So don't waste your money. That would definitely be something I would get from the original source. I think Printed Solid sells them. You're sitting over here shaking your head. Oh, did you buy a cheap clone, a BMG clone? Oh, it was garbage, wasn't it? And he bought a real one. John's over here. I don't know if you guys hear him, but he's like, I bought a BMG clone. Buy a real one. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got the Daedalus in my office. That's got a BMG, and that thing's been really consistent. Yeah, the BMGs, I mean, even with some of the Titan clones, they're very hit and miss. You know, we source our Titan clones from a very reputable manufacturer, and we haven't had issues with them for the years we've been selling them. We keep selling them because they're a good quality extruder for the price, but I do want to get some dual drive stuff in because, you know, the market wants that. And I've used them both. They both work. They get the job done. Let's see here. Mike V, I have a question. CR10S micro says all metal hot on direct drive installation. The bed visualizer has the bed almost at 0, but I can print a small item in PETG perfect, but not multiple. I get a Z layer shift. Mike, you need to post a picture of that. In the TH3D Livestreams Discord channel. There's a link in the description. I'm not sure what you mean by a Z layer shift. You talking about like where it skips? Let's see. Ender 3 S1. Have I seen it? Is that one of the ones they announced today? I'm looking it up. Oh no, here's the thing. Ender 3 S1. I'm just running straight up like vanilla OBS on this computer right now. This article, I'll post a link in here. This article on All3DP, the opening sentence for the article is, are there enough Creality 3D printers in the world? Creality doesn't seem to think so. There are 3 more on the way, starting with the new Creality Ender 3 S1. Let's see. So it looks like they've got a modular hot end set up. Let me see if I can, hang on. Let me set up give me a sec here. Let me see if I can set up a screen share here. Hang on. Display capture. Let's see. Let's work. There we go. Okay. Look how quick that was. Copy the logo here. Flying by the seat of my pants here. What else is new? Yeah, so it looks like they got kind of like a direct drive extruder setup going here with like a little hot swap dealy. I'm not a big fan of hot swap dealies. There's just one more thing to get screwed up and points of failure. But yeah, this is interesting. So I mean, they're just doing what they're good at, which is we're just going to make a couple of new changes. We're going to do a couple of changes to, you know, an existing model and call it a whole new model. Me personally, I probably... Oh, okay. Let's go over this since you guys brought it up. Okay, let's talk about a couple things I don't like. One, ribbon cables. Like, this makes repairing your machine a lot harder. This makes installation a lot easier, but this makes repairing breaks in the cable a lot harder. I'm not a fan of that. They did that on the CR6, so like this breaks, you're buying a whole new cable. it's easy to swap out, I guess, but again, you're going to be having to buy that. I do like here they are learning. I am a big fan of having, even if you have dual Z motors, linking the top here. There's a little cable thing. Okay. Nothing special there. Let's see. We got a touch. Oh, no. It's like the Ender 3 V2 screen, which is not bad. They've been able to do a lot of stuff with that in Marlin. It looks like they got their CR Touch here, which is their BL Touch knockoff. You can see how much they had to speed that up because that would have been like 20 minutes long. I'm curious to see if they show what's inside the printer. I highly doubt they are. I'm assuming it's probably going to be a 32-bit board. It'll probably be the same board, like a 422 or 427. All in all, I mean, this is like, it's like the CR6 and the Ender 3 V2 had a baby. That's what it looks like. You even got the like same molded strain relief here. We got this like cable. It's a weird market. Like, what market are they trying to target with this? You know, especially at a $400 price point. Is that what you guys said? Yeah, so $389. So you can actually order this on their site right now. Um, you know, it's funny. I take like a little bit of time away, and they just dump out all these new models. So I gotta keep up here. I gotta get my Ender 2 Pro back together. All right, let's see what else we have here for questions. Let's see if what is it, Mike? Yeah, let's see if Mike posted a picture in the chat on the live streams of the Discord. He did not. So, all right. I'm gonna go back to that. This computer's doing pretty well. I will give this. This is a really old i5, and it's doing it. Let's see. What battery backup do you recommend? I typically stick with. So I used to be a diehard APC fan, but I've actually switched over to CyberPower because I get refurbished ones that have a 1-year warranty with new batteries, and we've been running a lot of them out here, and they've been really good. My recommendation would be something from CyberPower, something from APC. I've been happy with both brands. I don't really have any complaints. Surprising, right? Tim has something to not complain about. I just saw here, Top of Waffle. Just looked at that S1, the Ender 3 S1. That has a ribbon cable. Big yikes. Yep. Thoughts on the Prusa XL? I looked at it. It looks like a printer. I haven't looked into it any deeper. So, let's see. Buy him a dog cake. Sanjay was a wild dude. Yeah, Sanjay was fun. I met him at Murph. It's sad that they weren't able to come out this year. But yay, COVID. Or sorry, human malware. Don't flag me, YouTube. Let's see here. Let's see. Julio Reyes. Sorry if I missed any of your guys' questions. If I did, make sure to let me know. But I'm down at Julio Reyes' question. He said, I switched out the stock filament sensor with Easy Out because it fits better my Ender 5 Plus direct drive. I have an Easy board. How can I rewire to not have random triggered runouts? I would double check to make sure that the cable is intact and like the what are the words I'm looking for? Inside the end of the plug, there's like these pins that grab. There's the crimps that grab onto the pin for the connector. Sometimes if it's like an older one that's been pulled on and manhandled, they can get loose. Sometimes what you can do is pop the pin out and take a needle-nose plier or tweezers and gently squeeze them so they grab onto the pin a little bit harder. Other times, they're a wearable. I would classify them as a wearable item. Not like, oh, it's going to wear out in like a couple months. It's more like a year or two. It depends. When we have ones here, like once in a while, our ABS printers, these have a lot of time on them. They'll get false random filament triggers, and we'll just replace the cable and the sensor because it's not really worth it just trying to change out just the cable because it could be either. And I would rather, the sensors are cheap. I think we sell them on our site for less than $10 for a replacement sensor and the cable. It's best to just swap it out. But you can try to fix it. I'm a big fan of fixing stuff. So if you want to just like kind of take the cable end or take the pins out of the cable and give them a little squeeze and make sure they're grabbing onto the pins, then that might be all it needs. So, oh, I have not had my MAW today. Let's see. Marcus asks, he's got an Ender 3 V2 is shipped with a 422 and a 427. Can you tell me if there's anything I need to know when it comes to those boards, if one is better than the other or whatnot? So as far as I know, unless Creality changed something, which is entirely possible, as far as the information I know, the Ender 3 V2 should come with a 422 board that has Trinamic 2208s on it. The common issue with those boards is that they run hot and they overheat. In my experience of 427s, even though they're very similar boards, they do have physically larger drivers, or the TMC 2225s, which are functionally identical to the 2208s, just in a different physical package. The 427s seem to not overheat as often, because my guess would be because the physical footprint is larger, so it's able to dissipate it better. Let's see. Do I have any opinions on Peter Anderson? Do I have any opinions on putting heat sinks on the stepper motors? I've heard that the cooler stepper works better. So yes, cooler steppers to a point do work better. It's not really till you're getting into the 70 plus to 80 plus C temp range that you're going to start seeing, fading in terms of strength of the magnets with the stepper. So basically, I mean, you can put heat sinks on your stepper motor. You probably won't hurt anything by doing it, but you might not also gain anything unless your motors are running hot. If your motors are running too hot, it's a couple of things. Either the motor's too small, it's being driven too hard, which is not the case. If it's a stock one, the companies usually do a pretty good job of speccing out the stock motors to perform for the stock printer itself. If a motor is running too hot, it's usually because the what's called the VREF, or voltage reference, is set too high. VREF is a term that is like loosely used for manual adjustment of stepper drivers. There's like a little potentiometer you turn, and that will raise or lower how much current's going to the motor. If you have a more modern board like our EasyBoard V1 or the V2, or like some of the SKRs and MKS boards, they might have digital control available where you actually tell it how much current you want to send to it, and the board figures out what the VREF should be. But if your motor's running too hot, it's usually because you're feeding too much current to the motor, and you should back that down. Because you're not gonna gain anything by cranking up how much power is going to the motor. You're just gonna make it run hotter and potentially cause other issues. So, let's see here. My apologies for the yawning. Let's see. Nemo Griff, do you think that a 1 meter is long enough on an Ender 3 for a direct drive mounted pancake? I would say you're cutting it close, because for an example, the Easy ABL sensor wire, that's about 1.5 meters, and that gets me into the control box with a little bit of extra slack. So I would say I'd probably go 1.5 meters, because going a little bit longer is going to be better than going too short. You follow me? David FL, Easy Neo with EasyBoard V2 is awesome. Yeah, the EasyBoard V2 can power those Easy Neos. I gotta keep putting I gotta put the Easy Neos on like all my machines. I got them on a couple in my office, but just everything going on, I've had to shelve my fun stuff that really doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? That doesn't yield business results. It's fun stuff, and I got other stuff I'd rather do for fun than putting NeoPixels on my printers right now. Let's see. Thomas Lana, something's very, very wrong here. The office looks different. Yes, this is my actual office. This is in a separate building on the property. The house is about 150 feet that way. The hell? What's going on with your phone? Hang on. Oh, never mind. It's a... Okay. One of those... I think... It's one of those alert systems. I did not get it on my phone. That scared the crap out of me. Anyways... let's see here. Alright, I'm just going to say hi because everybody keeps saying. So, let's see. We got Nemo. Hi, Nemo. Hi, Justin. Miko. David. Blaisby. Thomas. Krista. Tommy. Ram. Mr. Waffle, I acknowledge you. You don't need any validation from me. I got Jonathan Bear. Did I already say Ram Design? I see Kieran is here. Superconductor. I'm looking for my regulars and my supporters here. I know Sean Youth is a regular. My brain is apparently not firing on all cylinders today. Let's see. All right, back to the questions. Where were we at? 1 meter cable, extension cables. We're talking about Easy Neo with EasyBoard V2s. Where are we at? Okay, so Llama Print Farm Stream. Extra machines, you say? Yes, Waffle. I do have some extra machines. Do you want to come take more off my hand? Waffle will graciously. I gave Justin. Justin came here to pick up some resin printers, and I sent him home with a bunch of. I think I sent him home with 4 3D printers: a JG Roy A5 because I figured we're not going to do anything with that, an old ANET, an old Wanhao, and another old ANET. So yeah, I've been trying to clean out the extra crap because I'm bored. I don't want to be a borderline hoarder. So and it was getting to be too much. So Jonathan, take it easy. He said he's heading out. Let's see. I need some caffeine. Let's see. RAM design. I hate the touch screens. Is there any way to take one of your screens and make it work for the Anycubic Mega X? I have a Mega X, I believe. I believe it's a Mega X. I have an Anycubic Mega something sitting in a box in what's it called in the garage. I gotta look. I also have an Aquila X2. I gotta schedule another printer stream. So, Jay Moore, if you are you guys able to print something if I send you STL? Yes, if you go to contactus.th3dstudio.com, there's a print farm section where you can send us an STL and we will give you, we will give you a quote. So just let us know what material type, color, infill, layer height, that kind of stuff. The more info, the better. Let's see. Joseph, community equals your TH3D firmware. I've compiled in Flash to make the easy ABL and the 12864 screen. Everything is smooth except the firmware says no SD. It still works when I flash the firmware back to stock. So what you need to do is put the SD card in, and then you need to attach the SD. The stock Creality firmware does something weird where it kind of like pulls the pins and auto mounts, and the Marlin build we have does not do that. We're using standard Marlin. I think we're on 209.1, but the SD will work. You just need to tell it that you put an SD in. It's not going to auto recognize because they don't have what's called the SD detect pin connected, which is usually what Marlon's expecting. There's a pin in an SD slot that grounds out when the card goes in, so that's usually connected to an input-output pin. So when it sees that pin go low, because it's grounded out when the card's inserted, it will then try to mount the card. That pin is not connected, as far as I know, on the Ender 6, board. So. Yep, 84. Are y'all expecting any more Easy Pies? I am. I just paid out the ass for some Raspberry Pi boards. The price will be going up a little bit, but right now Raspberry Pi 4 boards are getting harder and harder to find, and people are scalping them for over $100-something in a lot of cases. And when I go to like Newark or DigiKey, they're quoting estimated lead times of 2023, January 2023 for Newark, and I think August of 2022 for DigiKey. So, yay supply chain issues. I don't understand how the hell we're still dealing with these goddamn silicon shortages. Like I'm just gonna swear, I'm fucking tired of it. It's insane. We've been lucking out in getting parts for our EasyBoard V2s. It's just been sheer luck and persistence. I want to give a shout out to Griffin. He's Griffin over at Paquette Engineering. That's his company, and he does all the production runs and does a lot of the EE stuff and whatnot for our products. And he's been very good at sourcing the parts during these crazy freaking times. Like I'm so over all this silicon shortage stuff, and I don't understand how things haven't caught up by now. Like it's December. Like we were, what has it literally been a year? I feel like we've been talking about the silicon shortage shit for over a year now. At this point, and I'm gonna swear a little bit because I'm just done. I'm done with it. It's been exhausting. So yeah. Let's see here. I'm looking here. Nothing to complain about. Wow, nothing that's relevant to the company that I can complain about. And even then, I'm good. There's nothing really more to complain about, to be completely honest. Any new products in the works? Just the Ender 6 enclosure and some stuff for the Ender 2 Pro. Yeah, I'm not going to have... The only thing I want to get out before the end of the year is the Ender 6 enclosure. Aside from that, I will be pushing ahead with new stuff. New stuff in 2022. Superconductor, will you be carrying an MKS board again? I would like to. I actually reached out to my MKS rep, and they're having supply issues too. Trying to get chips, which is why the S-Gen LV2 was no longer in our shop. Yeah. So let's see here. Blazeby, the new flavor should be here in the next day or two. Oh yeah, the new moth flavor. There's a new moth flavor. I definitely pre-ordered it. All right, chat jumped. Hang on. I am scrolling back up here. Give me a second here. Easy Pie restock ETA. Hopefully in about a week. The price will be going up because I paid a lot for the boards. But that's all I can do. If you guys come across any places that are authorized Raspberry Pi distributors that can get Pi 4 gig boards, we usually run the 4 gig ones. Let me know. I would be very appreciative. I've been scouring the internet literally every day trying to get as many boards as I can, and I've been grabbing some here and there from multiple different vendors that are authorized resellers, but it's becoming harder and harder to get them right now. Yeah. Jay Moore, do I guys do any 3D printing services? Yes, we do. Go to contactus.th3dstudio.com and you can set a request in. We do most major filament types. Our biggest build volume for enclosed, so like ABS type parts, PETG, nylon, because like once you get bigger, PETG likes to start warping, would be like 350 by 350 by 400. And then if we're doing like PLA, we can go all the way up to like 400 by 400 by 500. I think is the biggest build volume envelope we have, and we have 2 of those machines that can do that. So basically, let us know what you're looking for, and we can let you know if we can do it. If not, I do have other people we can outsource stuff to or refer you to in case there's something we can't handle. Asura says, can you print a motorcycle fairing with a big 3D printer? I don't see why you couldn't. A fairing would be like pretty much cosmetic for the most part. The main thing would be the material. I ride myself, and I definitely would not recommend PLA, especially stuff around the engine, due to heat. But, you know, if you had something that could print ABS, I don't see why you couldn't print a fairing, you know, even finish it, you know, prime it, maybe Bondo it, make it smooth. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't if you had a big enough machine and the proper material. Yup84, you're planning on selling 0.9 stepper motors. Not at this time. I want to revisit that because I last visited that probably about 2 or 3 years ago, where I bought 0.9 degree stepper motors, swapped them out of my printers, and didn't see a difference in the print quality. If anything, it caused more issues because the 0.9 degree stepper motors usually have lower torque, so I had to up the VREFs. My conclusion from a couple years ago was it's really not worth it. You're not going to see that big of a difference. So... but you know, you guys do you. This is just a lot of, you know, anything I say on here is my opinion. I try to be very transparent about that. Obviously this channel, like I do this for fun. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy answering questions, you know, but at the end of the day, like I try to be transparent. Obviously the reason I can do this is because we have the company that, you know, pays my bills and pays our employees' bills and gives me the opportunity to do stuff like this where I can answer questions and try to help people out. So, let's see. Waffle's looking for something in the 400 by 400 range. I'm not willing to part with any of those yet. I only have 2 of those that big. I don't know where you posted your picture, Mike V, but you need to post it in the channel called Livestreams, and I will create another invite, and I will tag you. It has to be in that one. I'm not going through all these. There's a lot of channels in our server, so if you want to post something to share for me to see, or to share on screen, you got to post in the live streams channel. Let's see here. John Reef, Vermont, with the Easy ABL, can I extend the main probe cable by a foot? I need it to be longer than what is really shipped with. I'm very good with making solid connections. I'm going to tell you no, because every person that's tried, I mean, you can do whatever you want with it. You will avoid the warranty. Ask, I don't know if Lightspeed's watching, ask him about extending cables. Those cables are fully shielded. What I recommend is moving the control box closer to the sensor cable, or the end, because then you can extend the Z end stop signal wire and the power wire, and those are just standard unshielded wires. So basically you can move the control box closer to the sensor and then just extend the other 2 wires that go to the control box, which would be your power that feeds the box itself, and then the Z end stop cable. So 4 wires total, 2 for power and 2 for the Z end stop. Let's see. Is PLA resistant to abrasion, or will it break? I want to use it to protect my motorcycle from falls. I would not use PLA. I'm assuming you meant PLA. Yeah, I mean, if you're putting a fairing over a fairing, maybe PLA would be okay, but I'd be afraid of the heat. All right, we're going to wrap this up in a little bit here. I am going to pull a winner for the giveaway for November plus today. I was going to set up a whole new giveaway, but I figured we're one day off. We'll just roll the December, well, today's giveaway into the November one, and we're going to pull it live. And then I'm also feeling generous, and I'm going to also give away an additional $50 gift card to the shop. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to check. I'm just going to put a little cutoff here. All right. Llama's being lame and leaving for dinner. Fine, be that way. G-Fish, any suggestion why my printer doesn't retain its Z height each time I print? Couplers and hardware are all tight. So it could be a number of things. If you're, I don't know your machine, I'm only going off the info you gave me, but the Z height could be multiple different things. Now, here's the thing. Your printer, especially because you have heated beds, I'm assuming you're using a Chinese printer, so you got a printer with a really cheap aluminum bed that is very prone to changing its topology, or is topology the right word? It changes shape slightly every time it heats up and cools down. The other thing could be if you're running springs as the printer's printing, the springs could be slowly loosening up, and the bed is changing its height as well, usually getting further away from the carriage. If you are using an auto bed leveling system, I would recommend running a M48 test. Hang on 1 second. I gotta sneeze. All right, sorry about that. I would start by checking if you have an ABL Pro, but usually if your Z height's changing, it's usually a mechanical thing. Some printers are just going to have it be floating a little bit. If you're talking like 0.1 millimeters or less, then I would say that's normal for most printers. If it's more than that, then something's mechanically wrong on the machine or something's not moving correctly. I would check. The easiest thing would be to check is if your Z motor's getting enough torque, and the easiest way to do it is grab the coupler and see if it takes a decent amount of strength to get it to skip a step and move. Okay, if it takes a decent amount of strength to get it to skip a step and move, that tells me that the Z motor is not getting enough torque, which could be low VREF, could be a cable that's not connected properly. Try to rule that out. But usually if your Z height's changing, like, let's say you home it and like you start a print and I'm 0.2 high and now I'm 0.2 low, usually that's related to something mechanical on the printer, and it might not be obvious, but go over the entire machine, check all the bolts, check all the nuts, make sure everything is solid and not loosened up. I can't tell you how many times I've had weird issues with my printers, and turns out there was just some bolts loose, and it's not something that you're going to be able to see easily, so you got to get in there. Let's see. Tom Taylor says Samsung is building a new plant in the USA. Will be a year or more for production. Well, that's good. Good to see them, actually building stuff here. We need to make chips here again. Let's see. Justin Dybell said, I just looked in an ad. It says the silicon shortage will last till the end of 2023 due to a new building being constructed. Interesting. Let's see. Leo Reyes, is the Ender 5 Dual Z a no-go? The Dual Z is not a no-go. It's on hold right now, just because everything. There's been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life that caused me to pull back from work for a little bit. Just got to prioritize things right now. That's not a high priority. Let's see. Because I'm literally the only one that does it. So, and I'm trying not to burn myself out again. I got myself in a really bad situation, working myself for many years too hard, and yeah, I'm not going to go into details with that, but try not to fall back into the same traps again. So, let's see here. I'm looking to see if there's any other quick questions before we go into the giveaway. Let me see. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull the form up. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and then I'm going to close it. Hang on one second. They're opening the overhead door, and the dog's here. Hang on. Sorry about that. I heard the overhead door open, and they forgot the dog was out here. Although I have food, and he's very food motivated, so I don't think he would have gone too far, would you? No. Anyways, all right, let's pull this. Sorry about that brief interruption. I'm going to go ahead and close the form here. I'm going to go ahead and export these to a CSV file, and we're going to go ahead and pull the names out of... Go ahead and pull the names here. All right, give me a second here. I apologize if things get slow. This computer is not the fastest. I'm not using my main desktop that I usually do. So, all right. I go ahead and copy the names. I'm going to paste them in here. All right, it's actually doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and find out who is going to be the winner of the $150 gift card that we give away. And this is for today and November. So these are all the entries from today and November. So let's see who is the lucky winner. You guys ready? Let's see here. And Bob Kittleson, I don't know if you're watching, but I have your name here, and I also have your email, so I will reach out to you, and I will send you a $150 gift card. So let me make a task for myself here so I don't forget. Let's see here. What the hell? Oh, it's UPS is picking up. Oh, God. What did you guys do? Did you guys just lock... Did you lock... Did you accidentally... Did you accidentally arm the alarm? You probably locked it. All right, hang on. I know. It's always a crapshoot. All right. So Bob Kittleson is the giveaway winner. All right. Let me pull up Nightbot here. Let's do giveaway. And I will get the... what's the word I'm looking for? I will get this stream set up a little bit more fluid, and I'm going to try to get my Yeti out here so I can at least use that if I stream instead of using this. This was kind of off the cuff thing. I was like, you know what? I feel like being out in the print farm today. I got to clean my office up, so don't judge me. All right. Let's see. All right. Keyword here. What are we gonna do it? Let's see. What do we want to do for the keyword? Oh, I just realized the lights are probably on in my office because I'm streaming, because it's automated. We're just gonna make it good doggo. GOODDOGGO. So go ahead, and this is for a $50 gift card. So let's go ahead. Go ahead and enter your guys. Go ahead and enter your guys. Just good doggo. No space. All right, I'm waiting. You guys only enter it once. I'm waiting here. Come out. Come out. All right. I see the same people typing it. I'm going to go ahead and roll it. And then we're going to give Remo his dingo stick. And we're going to wrap this up for the night. All right. Let's see who won. Oh, my buddy. I'm glad you got it. Matt, you have won. Mr. Mudib. You have won the $50 gift card. You refuse? Matt, where are you, Matt? Come on. Come on, Matt. You got to claim. Yeah, you won. um, you are you in the Discord server? Yeah, I know you haven't won before. Um, so Matt, send an email to send me a message on Discord. I think you're on our Discord server. I can't remember. Um, let's see. Might help if I spelled streams right. Okay, so streams at th3dstu.com. Send me an email with like a screenshot of your Google account showing that, so I know it's you. If you're on Discord, just send me a message. But anyways, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys learned something. Sorry if it's a little all over the place. This is kind of off the cuff thing. I'm trying to be more spontaneous and random. But yeah, people suggested stream from here. I was like, you know what, this is a halfway decent camera. Let's do it. So I appreciate everybody who stopped by. If you guys haven't checked out our Discord server already, make sure you go and join our Discord server. If you guys are a YouTube channel member, make sure you connect your YouTube account to your Discord account so you get access to the VIP section. There's also a channel just for people at the Cult of TH3D $5 a month tier on the channel where you can bug me directly. Just don't abuse it. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a really good week. I hope you have a really good day. Well, I guess it's night. Feels like night, even though it's 5 o'clock. Damn daylight savings time. So, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. And as always, happy printing.